everyone, this is Lori here with Lori Hooks. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me today. So if you can hear my pup walking around, I think she's finally settling down. By the way, today's video is a yarning catch-up. Anyways, yeah, the tripod comes out, and what is it about the tripod? She gets like wacky excited. I don't know what she thinks I'm going to do with this tripod other than talk to myself. Maybe she thinks I'm talking to her, because usually when I talk to myself and the tripod's not around, yeah, I'm talking to her. So I don't know. She's finally calmed down. She's laid down in her bed now, and she's dramatically staring at me. So anyways, as I said, today's video is a yarning catch-up. I do have a finished object to show you guys, and I have a new whip and some, maybe 2 new whips. And I have a whip that I was working on the last couple videos. So let's get started. So let's start out with the finished object. I'm going to put my coffee aside. I'm still on my first coffee today, which is always the best one. You know, those first few sips, they're just morning bliss. Okay, so finished object. And that is this very large blanket made with blanket yarn. And it was almost this big last time you guys saw it. I think I was working on this last round of white, and I did one more round of red afterwards. I weighed my yarn ball before I started that last round of red, and weighed it again when I was done the round, and I was like, okay, I think I have enough to go around again. I lost at yarn chicken. I went all the way around the second time and got like 5 stitches from the end, and I ran out. And I couldn't. Sometimes I found anyways that in that situation, if I pull it out and I re-put it in, it's like the yarn stretched, and I'll make it all the way around, but because it took like an hour and a half to do that round, I was like, I'm not doing it again. I'm not gonna run out again. So we have 1 round of white on the edge, and that's fine. So this blanket is about 80 by 80. I would have liked if it had maybe another 3 or 4 rounds on it, because it would be queen size. Right now it's a little small for my queen size bed. I will insert a picture here of it on my bed though. You'll see it's a little bit too small. Not much, tiny bit. So, but I think this blanket is going to end up being a camping blanket that'll end up in our trailer in the summer to take camping and have something cozy for those chilly camping nights, and it's pretty colors, and we have a lot of reds in our trailer and stuff like that, so I think that'll blend well with the trailer. So this is I'll include, there was a pattern for this. I started this blanket years ago. I used a tutorial for it. There's a free pattern on her blog, as well as there's a YouTube tutorial for this. It is called Snowberry's Throw, and I used the colors that were in her tutorial. So the colors are cranberry, dark gray, and vintage white, and I used a 9mm hook. Yeah. So, and what else do you want to say? So I made it much more oversized. I bought 3 of each color originally of the small blanket skeins, so they're 150 grams. And then when I got to, so that I wasn't quite done using all those, I knew it wasn't going to be as big as I'd like, so I saw the 3 colors one day at Walmart in the 300-gram skeins. They're double the size of the other ones, and so I picked up 1 of each color of those when I was at Walmart. And so yeah, I've got quite a bit of yarn in here, quite a bit of time, and you know what, it's a lovely, beautiful blanket, but blanket yarn and we don't like each other, so don't count on seeing blanket yarn again soon. but it's a very pretty blanket and I am very happy with the outcome. So that's my finished object. So what else have I been working on? I will show you my new whips first. So Valentine's Day is coming, and I do have a couple of Valentine's Day gnomes, but they were made with worsted weight yarn, and I'm going to say that I probably made them 2 years ago. They were the first 2 gnomes that I made, I think. No, I made Christmas gnomes that year, also with worsted weight yarn, and since then I have started using Sheepy's Katona, and I just like how clean the gnomes come out in Sheepy's Katona. Like, there's no fuzz on them, there's no fur on them, and I just love the stitch definition of it and all that stuff. So I love the gnomes made with that. So I decided that I needed another Valentine's Day couple for my display. And one day I should take a picture of, I have like a new shelving unit that my parents got us for Christmas, and I have all my gnomes on there in display. And I've only had it since Christmas, but you know, I've been kind of, because I put the Christmas ones on, decorated all and set it up a couple days after Christmas, after I had time to put it together. And our Christmas decorations were still out then, so I put the Christmas things in the forefront so that you could see them, and then I had the other ones that were kind of not so Christmassy in the other areas. And then so I kind of plan to do that with the different times of year, to move things around on there to be more the decorations that are for that season or whatever in the forefront, and the others they're still there, they're just kind of off to the side. I did put my non-yarny, actually I put all my yarny Christmas decorations away as well. I don't have any Christmas gnomes because I gave them all away as gifts, but besides the fact, okay, getting off on something else again. So Valentine's Day gnomes. So far I have done the body for one and her arms. And I started the body on the second one. And when I get to the round to put the arms in, I have the arms here all ready to go. And as I said, this is Sheepy's Katona. I do use a piece of I'll show you guys a piece of it, the foam board, and I just buy like foam board at the dollar store here, and I cut out a circle for their gnome butt. I know they're pretty crappy circles, but they do the job, and I just put them down in the bottom, and it helps them stand. They stand really well when they're done. So that will be the girl gnome. And this one with the red bottom is going to be the boy gnome. So that's where I'm at with those so far. And hopefully when I do my next video, they are done. And as I said, this is Sheepy's Katona. I did not write down all my colors. If you want to know what the colors are, let me know, and I will make sure I put them in the description box. So that is my first new whip. My other new whip, it's not as exciting. If you guys watched the video for my winter wreath, I used this cozy boucle polyester from Loops and Threads, and I use this to cover the wreath around the outside. And this is a very soft, it's like a furry yarn. And to be honest, it's really hard to crochet with because you can't see your stitches at all. So, but my daughter, when I had this for the wreath, my daughter was like, oh, you should make some pillows for the couch out of that yarn. It's so soft and plushy. So she talked me into it. But because I can't see the stitches, I decided to knit the pillows. So this is what I have of a pillow cover so far. And as I said, I'm knitting. These are my 6.5mm knitting needles. This is the circular. I hope it fits when I'm done. I'm just winging it. I just cast it on however many stitches I thought it would need and measured it out afterwards, and it's measuring, when I give it a little bit of a stretch, because this is super stretchy, it stretches out to 16 inches, which my pillow that I'm using, the pillow form, because I prefer pillow form rather than, because I'm going to make it the cover removable so that we can wash it, hopefully. So I prefer to use a pillow form for that reason. So the pillow form I have is 16 by 12. It's a rectangular one. So this is 16 inches wide. And so I'm going to make it, so 12 and 12 would be 24, and I'm going to add a couple inches for overlap, and then when I'm done, I'm going to overlap it on the back, and that way you can open the two overlaps and stuff the pillow form inside, and I can take it out to wash it afterwards if I want to. So that is my other, I believe this is a new whip. I don't think I showed you guys this, and I think I started this the same day I finished this blanket, which I may have finished this blanket the same day as I did my last video, because I was almost done that day. And my other whip that I have in progress is a knit cardigan that I'm working on. And I'll just do a quick show of this. I do have a lifeline in here, so if you see the blue line, that's what that's the lifeline in here. And that's what I have the back panel so far. I think when I showed it to you guys last time, I remember I put this stitch marker in here to mark the front, and I was probably a couple rows above. Stitch markers right here. I was probably around here the last time I showed it to you guys. So quite a bit of progress on here. That's the back panel so far. And this is a Mary Maxim kit with the rag yarn. This is what the yarn looks like, and it's Mary Maxim brand yarn. And I bought it as a kit that came with the pattern and everything. It's called a Comfy Cardi. And it's fun to work on. I have gotten used to because there's a lot of counting, I've gotten used to the repeat now that I don't have to, it's not such a focus, and I can see now when I make a mistake. But I did put a lifeline in here just in case. I've been putting the lifeline in about a repeat is 12 rows. So I've been doing a lifeline every 2 sets of repeats. So every 24 rows I've been putting in a lifeline. So just in case. But very happy with how it's looking so far. It's fun to work on. And I've been kind of rotating through the 3 projects. Like I start generally with one of them and I work on that for, you know, a little while, and then I switch and I'll work on the gnomes for a little while, and then I'll switch and I'll work on the pillow for a little while, and then I'll go back to the first one for a little while. So sometimes I will rotate through all 3 projects twice in an evening while we're watching TV and getting some crochet time in. Now, and knitting time, and obviously we'll just call it yarny time. We don't do a lot in the winter, so it's been make dinner, you know, after work. It's been make dinner, eat dinner, and then I've had time to sit and yarny while we watch TV from like 7:30 till I go to bed. So quite a good chunk of yarny time at night lately. And I have felt like working on yarning projects. So I was kind of, when I had, because I did, I finished the blanket, and to be honest, I wasn't having fun working on it. I just wanted it done. And then I started that pillow, and, you know, just knitting back and forth on a pillow was kind of boring. And I had this that I was working on. I was like, okay, I need something else to spike this up, or else I'm going to get really tired of my projects, and it's going to take away my crojo. So I decided to start on those gnomes, because I got out my Valentine gnomes couple that I already had. And I was like, you know what? I want some Sheepies Katona ones. Oh, and I didn't mention, I will include the link for the pattern in the description box below, but those gnomes patterns, I'm using one from Passionate Crafter. They had a gnome along last year, and the pattern is free on the blog. So I will include that in the description box below. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. It's been a deep freeze here. It got cold, and you know, I can understand your body warning you about rainfall. You know, that some of us get a headache or we get some type of ache and pain when, or congestion or something when it starts before it rains. But me, my hands get dry before it gets cold. Isn't that weird? Just a little bit strange. But yeah, my hands, like, they did say that the cold was coming, and the day before it switched over, the cold came in, my hands, they started to get really dry. So now they are getting really, really dry because we are, when day did the cold come in? Thursday? Something like that? Something like that. Yeah, when I say it's cold here, this morning it was minus 15 Celsius in my car. I will try to look up what that is in Fahrenheit and post that here. I'm just outside of Toronto, so it's not as cold here as it is some other places nearby. My son is in Calgary for work. He left here not past Sunday, the Sunday before, so he's been there about a week and a half now, and he comes home on Friday. But we were texting on Saturday, and it was like minus 40 something there. That is absolutely insane. And they were warning people about extra electricity usage, suggesting that you microwave your food instead of using your stove, and not charge your car if you have an electric car, and these type of things to try to conserve hydro, because they were worried about rolling blackouts. And I was like, oh my goodness. And he's staying at a hotel, obviously, because he's there for work. So I don't know, like, I know my parents live way up north here in Ontario. When I say way up north, they're not that far up north. They're about 2.5 hours from here, but they're pretty far out, and it is not that unusual to have a power outage there that lasts for 5 or 6 days. So they do have a generator, just in case. They've had a generator for a long time. They had a small, like, gas powered one that you would have to, you know, it was like a portable one. When the power would go off and we were there, we would get the generator out and start it up and plug in the required items. You know, if it's summertime, you're plugging in your fridge. If it's wintertime, you're plugging in your heat source. Well, back then we had a fireplace, but nowadays my parents have like a whole home generator that it just automatically kicks over. Their power goes off for, I don't know, it's got to be off more than just like a flicker. It's got to go off for something like 30 seconds or something. And then the generator will start up on its own and it will take over. And it's not the full house that's powered, but the majority is. So, you know, as my mom says, she can use the microwave off the generator, but she's noticed the microwave sounds weird, and she's worried about the power on it being a little bit low. So she tries not to use her microwave just because she's worried about that. And they have a gas stove and that kind of thing, so she doesn't mind using the stove and those kind of things when the power's off. But anyways, my point is that I didn't know if the hotel that my son is staying in has a generator, and I was like, well, if they need hydro for their heat to work, and I was worried about, you know, they're worried about rolling blackouts, and I was like, well, if he loses power in the hotel there and it's minus 40 outside, like, that's concerning. So anyways, that's what we were texting about on Saturday, and I was just making sure that he was all right. And yeah, So this is the first time going to Calgary. I asked him if he liked it there. He said he did like it there. It's different. And I'm sure when he gets home, I will hear lots more about it. Now, they usually work when he's away like this. They usually work 10, 12-hour days. So it's not like he's getting to check out the town or something like that. They do work a lot while they're there. And there's 3 or 4 of them there from his company, and they all share the same rental car, so it's not like he can be gallivanting around the city either, because there's only one rental car between all of them. So yeah, so I think that, well, I know that is it for my yarny things, and I think that's it for my life catch-up. If you guys are in areas where it's as cold outside as it is here, please stay warm, stay safe. The sun's out today, it looks beautiful. I'm not going to tell you to go out there and get some sun. I'm going to tell you to do what I'm going to do and stand in front of your window for a little while and get some sun. We need that vitamin D at this time of year for our minds and bodies. So yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for liking my videos. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. And if you'd like to tell me what you're working on in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you next time on Lori Hooks. Bye everyone.